Hello everybody, it is me, Donnie Boy, and today we're going to go over a breakdown of the Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic gameplay trailer. Well, we got to dive into the story first off. A dangerous mission. The story of the new Fnaf installment revolves around the protagonist being contracted by Fazcorp to enter the abandoned costume manor, Edwin Murray's warehouse, to recover a highly valuable piece of intellectual property, the Mimic. Sounds simple, right? But as expected in the world of Fnaf, things aren't that easy. As the player explores, they must solve puzzles and complete tasks while tracking down the Mimic Endo. However, there's a deadly twist. The Mimic isn't just waiting to be retrieved, it's hunting you down, playing its own twisted game in the process. Next thing we're gonna look at is, well, our location. The Warehouse of Horrors. The setting, Edwin Murray's warehouse, already carries an air of doom. Given that he was working on the Mimic, it wouldn't be surprising if his own creation was what ultimately sealed his fate. The warehouse itself is filled with airy, decayed environments and some of the most terrifying hiding spots imaginable. With our first big look into the location would be the costume room. Featuring animal suits ranging from elephants to otters, this is where the Mimic can blend in, disguising itself as just another lifeless costume. After that, we're gonna go to the sewers and underground areas. Ominous and damp, these corridors are full of shadows where the Mimic lurks, peering at you from unseen angles. We also have the backstage and rafters, a dark, forgotten space where the Mimic can move undetected above, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And lastly, as we see, the rooftop access. As time passes, the weather shifts from a gloomy day in the beginning to a snowy night, marking just how long you've been trapped in this nightmare. It would be funny if you were alone in these locations, but sadly, you're not alone in the dark. The Mimic isn't the only threat lurking in this forsaken place. Other animatronics appear to be under its influence, each bringing their own unique horror to the mix. The first example we have of this is Dolly, the first aid nurse. Don't be deceived by the friendly name. Dolly is fast, relentless, and a serious threat, as we see here. Next, we're going to take a look at this tiger animatronic. I'm not sure if it's a costume. It does look like a costume, but for right now, I'm just going to put it under the animatronic category based on the following. With piercing blue and green eyes, this predator is built for prowling in the dark, waiting to strike at the perfect moment, or could it actually be the Mimic in disguise? As we know, the Mimic likes to go into costumes, and this looks very much like a costume, so I do want to say that it might be a costume, but at the same time, it also might just be the Mimic. Or at the same time, it just might be its own animatronic. Towards the end, we see Music Man again. A fresh coat of paint, but still the same nightmare fuel, except to encounter him near the rooftop access, either blocking your way in or out. And I will be honest, this rendition of Music Man is terrifying in its whole. Where does he come from? He is huge. Is he buried within the warehouse and just, comes out and comes to the rooftop access while you're there? We'll have to see whenever we get the game. Each of these animatronics ensures that nowhere in the warehouse is truly safe, keeping tension high as you attempt to survive. The Mimic's many faces. One of the most chilling aspects of the Mimic is its abilities to disguise itself. Throughout the trailer, we see multiple costumes it could potentially use. Now we have two categories. We have confirmed disguises and spotted costumes. In the confirmed disguises, we see an elephant and a mushroom character wandering through the warehouse. And with the mushroom character specifically, we see the Mimic's eyes within that costume. With the spotted costumes, a variety of suits strung throughout the area, including two different dogs, an otter, a seagull, and a bee. Could the Mimic take the form of any of these? we'll have to see whenever we get the game in our hands. This ability makes every turn and shadow in the warehouse even more unsettling. You never truly know what or who is watching you. With these new disguises, hopefully we get some new mechanics to help distract these characters. But leading into our next topic, survival tools. What can we use? Thankfully, the game provides some tools to help even the odds. One being the return of the Faz Wrench, a returning gadget from Faz Corp, useful for fixing interfaces and mechanical malfunctions. And then we see the wind-up mouse. The wind-up mouse, a small distraction device that could buy you precious seconds when the animatronics are closing in. Knowing when and where to use these items will likely be key to survival. And to take a sidestep from this script and give you my personal opinion, I am excited to see how they further develop Faz Corp into the story, because with the original Five Nights at Freddy's, we're following William Afton and his story. With these newer FNAF games, we are following the Mimic and the AI. We've seen this Faz Wrench before. We've seen it in Security Breach. We've seen it in Ruin. We've seen it in Help 1 and 2. The story gets bigger than just William Afton. It now is in the hands of Faz Corp. And who is running Faz Corp? That's a good question, but we don't have a solid answer for that yet. Let's get into the terrifying evolution in arts and models. Visually, this game appears to be a massive leap forward from previous FNAF entries, such as FNAF Security Breach. The Mimic's base model is a work of horror genius, an emotionless, lifeless face with glowing yellow eyes that seems to pierce through the darkness. The clown-like aesthetic only adds to the terror. There's something profoundly unsettling about its exaggerated artificial grin, especially when you know it's calculating its next move against you. The Mimic is playing a game of chess with us. If we do this move, it's probably going to do this move. In the end, I believe we can retrieve the Mimic and turn it off with the Faz Wrench, but the horror is, will it let us or will it kill us? Here are my final thoughts. Is this the next great FNAF experience? From what we've seen so far, this game has the potential to be one of the scariest FNAF entries yet. The Mimic's terrifying presence, combined with an atmospheric and haunting location, could deliver an experience that rivals some of the franchise's best moments. I, for one, can't wait to play it and bring you my full breakdown when the game is released. What do you think about the Mimic? Will it live up to the hype, or will it fall in the shadows of its predecessors? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay safe and don't let the Mimic find you, or there will be dire consequences. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to play FNAF Secrets of the Mimic when it comes out. I will be playing the new game on this channel, and probably after this video comes out, we're going to play FNAF Into the Pit, so stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the content. Thank you guys for joining. Like, comment, and subscribe, and Donnie Boy here is out. Bye-bye! The big story really is Faz Corp trying to hide everything. No, don't add that. Don't add any of that. Don't add any of that.